Hello and welcome to lecture 16, where I'll be showing you the way of photometric lights, which are mainly used for interior lighting, but you can also use them for exterior scenes, maybe nice looking night scenes, and I will be showing you in detail what they are. In the course section of this lecture you can find some downloads for iOS profiles and also another external link to download a lot more profiles if you want to play around with them. Also on the Arnold documentation side, you can also find some links to download some more iOS profiles, and here you can see what they actually do. So let's head over back to my Maya software and I'll be showing you how to work with them in this session. So currently I still have my light dome lighting the scene, so what I will be doing now is I'm just reducing the overall exposure by maybe -5 stops. And we should get a really dark image, which is exactly what I want. I want something to see, but we have in general a very dark image. So the next step would be to just create a light, go to Arnold lights and create a photometric lights, and then just place it somewhere on the wall. So I just move it up, and if I just place it along the wall, you currently should not see much to it because I don't have any photometry file connected to this light. So the first step would be to head over to your browser. I have something in the source images, IES profiles, and let's just choose maybe the jellyfish IES. Load this up and see what we get. On default, not so much. It might be a case because the exposure is too low. So let's boost up the exposure maybe by 10, and you can see we get something now. And you can see it's a nice looking fall off on the light. There's some texture to it. And this is kind of how it works. You download a light profile. These are measured light profiles from the manufacturer actually. And you can see if I light this right onto the wall, you can see that there is some nice looking detail everywhere, some nice shapes. So let's just move this closer to the wall and maybe even a bit more. And you can see the overall shape, what it brings us. You can see there's lots of detail in this, very interesting. And you can try out several different ones. Let's try umbrella. This is not so special, honestly. Let's try maybe arrow. So this is interesting. You can see it looks like a torchlight from a flashlight or something. So I would just need to boost up the intensity and we should see something interesting. Very cool looking. And if I light it down to the ground, you can see the nice shape we get. So this is something which is used for interior scenes to get really nice lighting effects. Also for night, like if you have a flashlight, you can use a light profile as well to get this nice looking beam. And other than that, it has kind of the same settings as the quad light. So nothing too special about this. You have radius, which gives you a softer fall off. So I just had to reset the scene, but what the radius does, it's kind of changing the scale of the point light. So the bigger you make the radius, the softer shadow you get at the bottom. On default, it's a very crisp shadow, so the radius would change the shadow softness, and that's actually all it does. So let's just look at one other IES profile. Maybe let's go with define. Let's see what that looks like. And different lights have more exposure on default, like built into them. So obviously you would need to adjust it based on whatever input you get. And you can see this one has really nice detail, and this is very architectural, and you should see this in lots of interior scenes. And you can see it gives you a really nice beam. Also on the ground here, it looks very interesting. And then you can play around with color temperature. If you want to have a warm light, you would have a lower value around maybe 4500 Kelvin, which is a warm color temperature. If you want more like an LED kind of light, you would push it up around 8000 or 10,000 to get a kind of bluish light. I like the warm tones more, so this is how you would do the IES profiles. And obviously exposure and samples are important things for a photometric light. So I hope this gave you an insight on what they are and how to use them. It's always nice to experiment, use different profiles. You can also go on official websites like Philips or Osram and download them from there. very interesting stuff to get really measured data for your renders.